Welcome to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. While many news outlets were giddy that Thor Love and Thunder was #1 at the box office this past weekend because it grossed $143 million domestically and $159 million internationally for a grand total of $302 million, the reality is more somber. These numbers are well below those for another Marvel movie that opened earlier this year, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. When Doctor Strange 2 opened earlier this year at the box office, it grossed $187 million domestically and $265 million internationally for a grand total of $450 million. Hence, the gross domestic box office for Thor 4 was $44 million less than Doctor Strange 2, which equates to a drop of 24%. Internationally, Thor 4 brought in $106 million less than Doctor Strange 2, which equates to a drop of 40%. Combined, Thor 4 brought in $150 million less than Doctor Strange 2, which equates to a drop of 33%. In other words, the $143 million in domestic gross ticket sales that Thor Love and Thunder had during its opening weekend is smaller than the difference between its global gross ticket sales and those of Doctor Strange 2. That's rather pathetic, but that's not all. The production budget for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was $200 million, so its break-even point was around $500 million. In its opening weekend alone, Doctor Strange 2 earned 90% of the revenue it needed to break even, which it did in its second weekend at the box office because domestically it earned another $61 million, which was more than enough to surpass $500 million in gross box office receipts. Thor Love and Thunder, on the other hand, reportedly had a $250 million production budget, which means that it needs to earn a lot more to break even, roughly $625 million, which is $125 million more than what Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness needed to break even. So, whereas Doctor Strange 2 earned 90% of what it needed to break even during its opening weekend, Thor 4 only earned around 48% of what it ultimately needs to break even. Further, given that several recent Marvel films, including Doctor Strange 2, saw their domestic ticket sales plummet by as much as 67% after opening weekend, if Thor 4 follows that same trend, it may only earn around $47 million to $50 million domestically this coming weekend. If its international sales drop by an amount similar to that of Doctor Strange 2, then Thor 4 may only earn around $106 million internationally this coming weekend. If that's the case, this would bring Thor 4's global take to around $455 million next weekend, which would be equal to Doctor Strange 2's opening weekend numbers, but would still only be 73% of what it needs to break even. Thor Love and Thunder will probably break even after its fourth weekend at the box office, but it's very unlikely that its final gross earnings will come anywhere close to what Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has earned so far, which is $947 million. Nor is Thor Love and Thunder probably going to come close to the earnings of Thor Ragnarok, which earned $850 million globally, because $112 million of that was made in China. And currently, it's looking more and more that Thor Love and Thunder is probably going to be banned in China due to its LGBTQ content, which would make it the seventh Marvel film to suffer the same fate in China. My guess is that Thor Love and Thunder will ultimately earn around $700 million to $750 million globally at the box office, which means that it won't have much of a profit margin for Marvel and Disney. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button. and please feel free to share a comment. If you'd like to see more of our videos in the future and help support this channel, please press the red subscribe button, and please press the bell to receive notifications for new content. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.